Hey, Rebel Bankers, this is your host, Chris Noggle, and welcome back to the Real Estate Money School. I got a special thing in store for you today. So today, I'm going to cover with you how certain investors are winning right now. Just so you know, this is COVID-19. This is a time when a lot of people are seeing this as a big obstacle for life, for business, and for just our normal way of living. But I'm going to show you how the investors that are killing it, the ones that are winning, are doing it. I'm going to show you their secrets. I'm going to talk to you about the things they're doing different than everybody else. But before we get into today's solo podcast, I wanted to real quick talk to you guys about your journey to becoming a rebel banker. You know, that journey, I talk about it on each episode. That journey begins with your realization that you want to change, your realization that you need to get education and you need to get knowledge. But most importantly, and really the only thing that matters, is you taking action on what you're learning. If you don't take action on what you learn in these podcasts, if you don't take action on what you learn in the books you read, like my book, Mapping Out the Millionaire Mystery, or my other book, The Private Money Guide, if you just read a book and you don't take action on those books, it was a complete waste. I mean, if you just want entertainment, there's a lot better ways to do that. You can just turn on Netflix in this day and age. But if you really want to make a difference in your life, in your finances, in your lifestyle, in your business, it takes action. And action can sometimes mean failure. But that's okay, because failing is another way of learning. And I don't mean that you want to go into this with the intent to fail, but if it happens, just learn from it. So that's what I wanted to talk about. So the other thing I'm going to do for you is I'm going to give every single one of you watching this a copy of my book, whichever book you want. All you need to do is go to chrisnaugle.com. That's Naugle. Go to that website, click on the resources tab, 2 little swipes, grab your mouse and 2 little swipes down, and you will see free book. You can get a copy of Mapping Out the Millionaire Mystery for free. You can get a copy of the Private Money Guide for free. Just pay shipping. And that is me taking action and making sure you get the knowledge, but I can't make sure you take action. So let's dive right into today's topic. This is an interesting topic, and one that really came about because of a conversation that I had couple days ago with a client of mine. And that client was saying, how come some people are making so much money right now during this pandemic, this epidemic, the COVID-19 recession, whatever you want to call it? How are some people crushing it and other people are barely getting by? Other people count on that extra unemployment check that they're getting, that other people count on someone else taking care of them. Well, the answers are actually quite simple, but first let's just peel the onion a few times. You see, if you really look at what's going on here, COVID-19, the virus and all that stuff, you know, no one could have predicted that. But what we could have predicted, and what I predicted many years ago, including last year on a whole bunch of these podcasts, is I predicted some type of a market fallout. I predicted that the markets were going to see a major pullback. Not because I was like some genius, not because like I'm some guru or prophet, not at all. Simply because the markets and the economy work in very rhythmic patterns, ones that are so easy to predict that even you and everybody else, without the knowledge like I have, without being a financial advisor, without spending time on Wall Street, you could figure this out. It's simple. Take the last recession and go forward 7 to 10 years. That's how it works. Almost every single recessionary period or pullback in the market happens in a 7 to 10 year cycle. Sometimes it's a little less, sometimes it's a little more, but if you just take that pattern and then you go one step further and you follow that pattern and you look at the signs. You know, you ever remember that song, Signs, Signs, Everywhere There's Signs? There was signs everywhere here as to what was going to happen. The question is, did you see them? Or were you too buried in your phone watching Instagram or Twitter or TikTok? And I don't mean to say that that's a bad thing, but you know what? There's a couple people, the investors who are winning right now, they were paying attention. They were watching these patterns. They were waiting for an opportunity. And that opportunity presented itself in March when the whole market fell. When the whole market crashed down, some people saw that as a major obstacle. Some people watched their 401ks, their investment accounts drop 20, 30%. But other people were already out of the market. They were sitting on the top of the mountain waiting, just waiting for that pattern to happen, because we can never predict the markets. Just so you know, let me repeat that. It's very important. Too many people think that they can predict the top and they think they can predict the bottom. And how do I know this? People are always saying, oh, I'm just going to wait for the market to hit the top, or I'm just going to wait for the market to hit the bottom. Really? Well, that might be a long wait, because you never, ever can know when that's going to be, because it is impossible to know. The best in the business, the Warren Buffetts, the Ray Dalios, they can't predict it. And they will openly tell you, you cannot time the market. So if you can't time the market, what do we do? How did we know? We didn't time the market. We predicted the pattern. There's a huge difference. One is a guesstimate and an estimated thing. The other one is really just following a pattern and making a decision to take action. Remember I talked about that earlier? Knowledge is one thing, but taking action is another. And taking action is hard because everybody fights you on it. It's the reason why Will Rogers said the biggest problem in America is not what people don't know. The biggest problem in America is what people think they know that just ain't so. That's what he said. Why is that? Because if last year, when the market was booming, when the market was rallying, when there was so much greed in the market, it seemed like it was never going to end. Trump, the president, was doing so good. The economy was the best it's ever been. This gravy train's never going to end. And then people like myself, people like Ray Dalio, people like so many others, the people who are winning right now that we're talking about, we didn't see it that way. You see, we saw it that everybody was being greedy, and therefore we were being fearful. We saw that there was a pattern that happens over and over, and we saw the signs, lots of signs, interest rate signs. We saw the inverted yield curve sign. That was the number one. That was like when I saw that inverted yield curve, and if you don't know what that is, I'm not going to get into it, but just Google inverted yield curve. That's an important lesson that you should understand, because when that happened, right there, never before or never ever in history has the inverted yield curve not been followed by a recessionary period. Never. So some people would have said, that's nothing. It's not going to happen this time. The economy's doing too good, all that. Really? Well, guess that was wrong, huh? The talking heads are the people who are always trying to sell something, right? Doesn't it always seem like the people that are telling you to do something always seem to have a hidden agenda? They're always telling you to do something because they have something that they're trying to push or sell. I mean, look at politics. Look at when I was an advisor or the stock market. Like, isn't there always some kind of hidden agenda? And many of you watching this, you might think I have a hidden agenda. I don't. Because I'm going to make money. I'm going to win when this happens, whether you follow or don't. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's simple. It's very simple. You follow some simple rules. You see, so many things in life all come down to setting some boundaries and some rules of engagement. That's all. But so many people think they set these rules and they don't follow those rules because someone says, oh, that's stupid. Oh, why would you listen to that? Oh, why would you do that? But yet we listen to these people. And it's these people that aren't doing and are not living the life that you want to live. Are they living your perfect day? Are they living the perfect day you want to live? Because if they're not, why are you taking advice from them? Seriously, ask yourself that question. The people you take advice from, the people that when they say you're stupid or that's a dumb idea or you shouldn't do that or when's enough, you've heard it all. Are they living your perfect day? And if they're not, why? Just why are you taking advice from them? Well, I'll tell you why. Normally they're friends, they're family, normally they're sometimes your spouse. Well, the last time I checked and I looked in the mirror, I'm the only one that can make decisions for myself. And if I listen to everybody else, well, then I'm just listening to their dreams and I'm just doing what they want me to do based on some, I don't know, maybe it's not a hidden agenda, but whatever it is, it's their own fear, their own inability to take action themselves. Therefore, that should not impede my decisions. So why are the investors winning right now? And what is their secret? They followed the rules. I talked about that pattern, that 7 to 10 year pattern. Just go back 2008 and count forward. How many years was that? It was 11 years. 11 years. That's more than 10, which means I was out of the market. Well, I was actually out of the market way too early, but that's okay because I'm conservative. I didn't want to play games. And then some people were, I had so many people say to me, I can't believe you're not in the market. Because people would ask, well, you're talking about the markets, you're talking about the patterns. Like, what are you investing in? I said, nothing in the market, zero. My money's in those stupid, silly, specially designed and engineered whole life policies. You said those are stupid. You said those are a terrible place to put money because Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman over here have a hidden agenda to make money on you by pitching what they're doing. I'm just over here on that side. And I'm perfectly content not being in the market. And then the market kept going up and up and up. And what happens is me, because I've been there before, and the people who are winning right now, we're watching the market going up and up and up, and we're just saying, this is ridiculous. It's still going up. But it makes sense because it's an election year. It makes sense because the economy was doing well. It makes sense because we had an administration that was very pro-business. There was a lot of things that made sense on why it was going up. But you know what? What goes up must come down. And you know that, okay? What goes up must come down. And that was March. But then some of you are still sitting there saying, yeah, but the market's come back. The market's bounced back. I hear this all the time. Chris, you're talking about the market going down, but the market's going up. No, it's not. And everybody keeps telling me, oh, the market's just going up. Every day I look at the market, it's going up and up. Why aren't you in? Why are you scared of being in the market? Folks, the market's not going up. It's going freaking sideways with a slight tick of up. It's like, I'd like the vanilla with the sprinkles on top. It's going sideways with some sprinkles on top. That's all it's doing. And it's based on pure speculation. And you know who knows that that's pure speculation? The people winning right now. Because the people winning right now are fearful of what they're seeing. So why are they winning? Because they're not playing games. They're not taking additional risks. They're not going out there and making foolish bets on black or red. You know what they're doing? They're sitting back. They're hoarding cash. If they had lines of credit available, they've taken those lines of credits out, which most people would say, oh, that's so stupid. Why would you take all the money from the bank line of credit and pay interest on that? Because you know what? When an opportunity comes, I don't want the bank to sit there and say, oh, we froze your lines of credit. Oh, the bank made a decision to freeze the lines of credit. So sorry, but it's a bank policy. I've got the money. So when I get the opportunity, whether it's a real estate opportunity, a business opportunity, a marketing opportunity that I can push harder when everybody else is pulling back, I have the cash to do that. And what was the cost? Well, there was a cost. There's an interest rate on that line of credit, and that cost is only an issue if there isn't value. What is the value of me having access to all that cash? My opportunity when it comes, I can take action. And you know why I know that? Because I didn't do that in 2008 and 9. Because so many people I know, so many of the multimillionaires and billionaires didn't do that in 2008 and 9. And you know what happened? The banks did exactly what I just said. They froze our lines of credit. They took our lines of credit and cut them in half. They took away our ability to access capital. And was that our fault? Was that because our income went down? Was that because our credit score went down? No. It was because the bank was in control and we were not. So what do the wealthy and forget about the wealthy, but what do the investors who are winning right now, what are they doing? And what are the secrets of their success? Number one, they're following a set of rules. They knew when to get out. They knew when to sit on the sidelines. They know to wait and be patient and wait for that opportunity. And when everybody else is pulling back in March, when everybody got scared and started pulling back, they pushed in. When everybody else was selling stocks in March because they were going down, they were buying stocks on the way down. You see, that's a big difference, but it's such a simple thing. And you're like, oh yeah, I should have done that. You shoulda, you coulda, woulda, right? When the market was going down, you should have been buying. I was buying Tesla, I was buying Apple, I was buying different stocks when they went down. And then when it hit the bottom and it bounced back, it didn't hit the bottom, just so everybody knows. Where it stopped was very strange, okay? But we're not going to get into that. And then it came back and it bounced back. Now, some of them are still probably waiting for their exit, but me, I got out. I hit my number. I had a set of rules, so when Tesla hit my number, I sold it. Did Tesla keep going? Is SpaceX doing awesome? Are Tesla cars doing awesome? Is the stock rallying? Yeah, absolutely. It's way higher than where I sold it. But you know what? There's not a day that I regret selling it because I followed my rules. And the people that are winning right now are following their rules. And so that's number one. They got a set of rules and they're following them. Number two, they're being patient and waiting for an opportunity. Number three, they're taking action when everybody else is running. So what does that mean? What does action taking look like? Well, let's talk stock market. It's the easiest thing. In March, when the market came down, they bought. Or they saw it coming and they shorted the market. And when it came down, they made money on the fall, not that. Short little story right now. What am I doing for investments? I get asked this all the time. I do not give stock advice. I will not tell you what stocks to buy or not, but I can tell you what I do and what I'm doing. And right now, I'm shorting the heck out of the indexes. I am going short, which basically means I want the markets to fall. And what have the markets been doing? Not falling. So am I losing money? Absolutely. And am I upset or scared that every time I look at those shorts that I'm losing money? Nope, because cost is only an issue in the absence of value. The value hasn't presented itself yet. The market hasn't fallen yet. But don't we have an election coming up? A really crazy election, one that's got two political parties that are battling. Isn't this a divided country? Isn't there a lot of negative going on? Yep. So doesn't that all lead eventually to a market going down? Yep. Is that going to happen? Yep. When? I don't know. So you see what I'm saying? I'm following a set of rules that goes against everything that you and other people are telling you to do. Because when the markets are going up, everybody is greedy and everybody's plowing in the market. They're like, oh my God, I'm going to miss an opportunity. You also need to understand that the successful people have defined what opportunity actually is and what it is not. So a lot of people think right now, buying into an upward market because they think it's going to keep going down. They think they're missing an opportunity if they're not buying right now. Absolutely not. You see, you got to have rules. The opportunity, you have to define what that looks like, but you also have to define your rules of, very simply, what is buying that at the right price? What does that look like? What is the right price? Okay, that's a set of rules that you do have to define. I can't tell you what that price is. You have to understand and learn some things. You can learn some of those things in my books. You can learn some of those things by watching YouTube videos and watching podcasts just like this one. The rules and the places and the areas to buy in are based on formulas. So when you look at a market and you look at an individual stock or security, it's very easy to see where the lowest point is. Okay, pull up a chart. Look at a 1-year chart. What's the lowest point where it was in the last year? Is that your buy point? Do you want to go 20% above that, 20% below that? Set your rules. I have mine. You have yours. There's not a one size fits all. Okay, and that's what the people who are winning right now understand. What else are they doing? Well, they also understand, the whole idea that to make money, that's one thing. Making money is the easy part. Keeping it is the hard part. So keeping it is the real hard part. So let me go into another thing that the people winning right now understand. They understand that when they do take action, when they take, action on an opportunity, I don't care if it's a real estate deal, I don't care if it's a stock, I don't care if it's anything. When they take action on something, they know where their exit point is. If you buy, okay, we always say buy low. Always buy low. These are Warren Buffett's rules. So let's kind of deviate a little. Warren Buffett's rules, buy low, okay, easy. We pick our buy point on what we're going to buy, whether it's real estate, whether it's cars, whether it's boats, whether it's securities. It doesn't matter. Just know what your buy point is. How many times have you negotiated for a car? You went in there and you knew what a good price for that car was because you did your research. Well, did you do your research when you decided to buy that mutual fund? Did you do your research when you decided to buy that ETF or that security? Probably not. So few people do. They just dive in because they're following the leaders. Well, you know what happens? When you follow the leader, you follow the leader right off the cliff sometimes. You have to make your own set of rules and follow them. So you have to buy low, okay? But secondarily, you have to sell high. Now, if you can't predict what the high point is, because you can't time the market, and what the low point is, the high point is whatever number you say is selling high. Is it you making 20%? Is it you making 30%? Is it you making 10%? What is high to you? It's different for everybody. For me, I trade every single day. My number is 10%. I'm not saying that's your number. Your number, and you might be buying for the long hold. Your number might be 30%. Great. So when your security or when your real estate deal hit 30%, did you sell? Did you? Because I'll tell you who did. The successful investors that are winning right now, they sold because they followed the rules. And the other thing too, that you have to understand is the rules are buy low, which we just talked about, sell high. What is your high? And don't lose money. That's the tricky part, right? Well, Chris, yeah, don't lose money. Yeah. That don't lose money thing is kind of like Bed Bath and Beyond. You remember the Family Guy episode where he's like, oh, bed and bath, but what is this Beyond thing? And he went into this like crazy world behind the curtain. The Beyond part is like the don't lose money part, but actually it's not at all. Because in order to not lose money in real estate, not lose money in securities in the stocks, not lose money on your mutual funds, not lose money, period, it involves doing two things consistently and persistently: buying low and selling high. And if you do those, how can you lose money? Literally, like, think about it. If you bought low and your number was 20% and you sold at 20%, did you lose or did you make? Oh, you made 20%. How can you lose money in that strategy? Well, Warren Buffett pretty much sums it up and says you can't. That's why he talks about that. But do you sell? Most people don't. They just buy and hold. Buy and hold. The age-old thing, if you just buy and hold, you'll always make money. But what are you going to hold it till the day you die? The wealthiest place on earth is the cemetery, because that's where all the dreams die, right? Your dreams don't involve, or your dreams don't happen if all you do is hold, hold, hold. When people hold, I'm not saying you can't make money buying and hold. You can't. But you still need an exit. You still need to know, where do you get off the train? Or do you just sit on the roller coaster and go round and round and round and round? Eventually you'd throw up. You got to have an exit. Because the people that don't, the people who are losing are the people that just buy and they're too scared to sell. They're too scared to get out. A year ago, how many of you in March would have loved to have been out of the market before the March crash? It wasn't hard, but it would have involved you selling your positions or transferring your positions into a cash position, and then you'd be sitting on the sidelines, but nobody really did that. I was literally bringing the bells, like sirens were going off. I was trying to let people know that this is what you have to do, and so few did. So then the market fell, and so did their investment portfolios. But what they don't understand is a thing called the drawdown effect. It's right here. For those of you that are watching this, you can see that. But for those of you that are just listening, let me explain this. So the drawdown effect is a very important thing to understand, because this is probably one of the most misunderstood things in investing. And what this says is, if you own a security, or even if you own real estate, it doesn't matter, and you lose 10%. Let's just say your mutual funds that you own in your 401k went down 10%. Okay, no big deal. 10% is not a big number. You can rebound really quick, but you realize you have to make 11% to get back the original 10 that you lost? Okay, let's keep going. How about if you lose 20%? And many people did lose 20% in March. So if you lost 20%, how much do you have to make to get back the original 20? The answer is 25%. But let's keep going. Some people in March lost 30%. If you lost 30%, how much do you have to make in order to get back just the 30% you lost? 43%. You see how these numbers keep escalating? Let's keep going. If you lost 40%, okay, if the market went down and your portfolio went down 40%, do you realize you have to make 67% just to get back the original 40? And if you lose 50%, you have to make 100% just to get back the original 50 that you lost. I teach this all the time, but I want you to understand the significance of what I just said. Because how many times have you looked at your account after the account has gone down? Let's say the account, you were watching the markets and the account went down 10, let's call it 20%. We had some big drops in March, right? So one day drops of 20 or 30%. You watch your portfolio drop. And then the market comes back. Let's just say it dropped 1,000 points and it came back 1,000 points. And you look at your statement, and you're like, well, that's funny. It dropped 1,000 points yesterday and it came back 1,000 points today, but my account's still way down. Do you know why? The drawdown effect. You have to make way more just to get back to where you were, because you're making money on a lower balance. It's that simple. So if your real estate is worth this today and you sold, you make that profit. But if the real estate drops, it has to basically climb its way back up just to get where it was. And then if you want to make more, it has to continue climbing, which takes an awful lot of time, which is lost opportunity. The successful people killing it right now understand these simple principles. They understand the drawdown effect. They understand taking action when the action should be taken. They have a set of rules. They understand when an opportunity comes, they understand that they take action on it, and they understand when to buy it, at what price to buy it, and when to sell it, and at what price to sell it at. Because again, they just follow the rules. That's what these people do. They're no different than you, except for they're action takers that follow a set of rules and that don't follow the masses. They don't follow the masses off the cliff. They don't listen to people that aren't living the life that they want to live. They take advice from mentors that are living their perfect day. Maybe not their perfect day, but the mentor themselves is living their perfect day. That's who you want to take advice from. Sometimes you have to almost reset it all. You have to go and look at all the people that you surround yourself with. And that's another thing that these successful people, the winners, I don't want to call them the winners, but the people that are winning right now, you know what they do? They surround themselves around other people that are winning right now. And they all talk about, how are you winning? How are you winning? What are you doing? They all talk about their rules and their rules of engagement, and they share ideas. Your network is your net worth. So who do you hang around? Do you hang around people that are always complaining? Do you hang around people that all they can do is talk about how terrible COVID is? Do you hang around people that, are just right now, just living off of the stimulus? And I'm not saying that might be you, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Listen, this is a bad situation. If you're a server, if you're in the service industry, if you're in the travel industry, listen, that $600 extra in unemployment is helping you tremendously. But if you don't understand that that's a temporary thing, you are setting yourself up for a major disappointment and a major failure. And that's unfortunately what's going to happen. So when that all happens, when all these forbearances end, when all these deferments of mortgage payments, credit card payments, loan payments, rent payments, don't even get me started there. When all these things end, and when the extra $600 a month and the extra $1,200 pay checks that we get, and when the extra PPP loans and the extra EDIL loans all stop, called stimulus, when they all stop and the dust settles, where do you stand? Did you have money set aside? Did you take advantage of opportunities? Or did you just live up to your income like so many other people that when they got that extra $600 every week and their unemployment, they went out and they spent that thinking the gravy train was never going to end? Just like in your job, when you get a raise, do you save that extra? Some of you do, but most of you spend that extra. Oh, honey, I got a raise. Let's go buy a new car. Let's go buy this. Let's go buy that. Oh, honey, I got a bonus. What are we going to do with this? Why don't you try saving it? Why don't you try to invest it in something that you can take an advantage of an opportunity? Or maybe, why don't we just kind of set it aside in one of those specially designed and engineered whole lives? Now, why am I saying that? Now, do I have a hidden agenda on that? Yeah, I want people to understand what it is. And I want people to understand what I learned so they can take advantage of it. And if that makes me some money because I helped them set it up, it's because I solved their problem. You see, it's okay to make money. It's okay to basically go out there and help people and get paid for helping people because you're solving a problem. So go out there and solve problems. That's another thing that the people winning right now, one of their biggest secrets, you know what they understand? They understand what the problem is, and they understand how to solve a problem. Or they identify a problem and they solve that problem. These are the things they do. And then once they solve the problem, they make money doing that, they follow the rules. They take advantage of the opportunities. Listen, I could go on all day long about this, but the most important thing I wanted to get across to you is just simply set your rules, take advantage of the knowledge that's out there, and the knowledge is free. Heck, you can go to chrisnoggle.com, go to the resources tab, and you know what? All those videos in there, free knowledge. You can learn about all this stuff. You can learn about the stock market. You can learn about the banking systems. You can learn about so many things for free just by going to that one resource. YouTube is full of knowledge, right? But where do we get our knowledge? Where do so many people get their advice from? The news. It's all fake. Completely fake and has a hidden agenda every single time. So if that's where you're getting your advice, if you're taking advice from people that are getting their knowledge from watching the news, just understand they are getting advice and knowledge because of a hidden agenda. So folks, go out there, make smart choices, follow the people that are winning right now, learn what they do, and then go out there and mimic it, because that is how successful people are successful. They mimic other successful people. They surround themselves by other successful people. They do rules and they follow the rules, and they simply do it consistently and persistently. You can do all these things. You don't need somebody else to basically tell you how to do these things. You know how to do them. Logic is a simple thing to follow, so start following it and stop deviating from your plan because somebody stands in your way saying, you shouldn't do that. That's stupid. I heard that was a scam. I heard that was this. Well, If you think it's a scam, research it. Go in and research it. It's not hard. Today we have the oracle called Google. You want to know something? Go on Google and research it and go past the sponsored ads and get to the real nitty-gritty. There's books. Start reading. Books hold the truth of so many things. So read books. That's how I get a lot of my knowledge. Folks, this has been great. And I really want you guys to understand that these are difficult times, but these are difficult times that present unbelievable opportunities. And I also want you to understand that although it seems like things are getting better, the hidden underlying problem has not gone away. And the damage that it has left is substantial. And we haven't even seen that yet. So be prepared, get ready, understand that what might be coming, you don't want to be on the wrong side of that. So guys, go out there, take action. Thank you for joining me for another episode of the Real Estate Money School. And don't forget, grab a copy of my book, Mapping Out the Millionaire Mystery, or the Private Money Guide, so you can learn how to take back the wealth that you're giving away and how to recycle and recapture just like the wealthy do. And the Private Money Guide teaches you where all the money is, how to go and get it without asking. They're both free. You just go to chrisnoggle.com, go to the resources tab, 2 swipes, and it's right there. We'll see you guys on the other side. Enjoy your day.